Hey, Snow.
Hey, MJ.
Nice for you to show up.
Oh. Touche.
How was your weekend?
Well, that weekend was actually a good weekend. This weekend I had
to be.
Yeah, I had a bothersome experience yesterday. But I still rated my day a great day in my mood calendar. You know how I've been doing that. I've been tracking my moods. Okay, so...
Do you have a spreadsheet?
I don't. I'm not as sophisticated as Ra Ray yet.
You should try the spreadsheet.
I know.
I hear it works.
God, you can add
that's why we gotta go to coffee.
And graphics and everything.
That's why we gotta go to coffee.
We absolutely do.
Okay, so... You see, I had an ex reach out to me to voice his disapproval of our Valentine's episode. So we had a listener. We had at least one listener then. Okay. He told me that since I have a butterface, I need to stop being mean. He said that despite the fact that I'm 49, I look 50, and I need to get off my high horse because I'm not pretty anymore.
Okay.
Now, I felt a great sense of relief. Here I thought he was back to ask me out on a date. Because you know how you put it out there that Snow's looking for dates.
Right.
And he heard that I'm dating again. Okay? He heard it. He obviously heard it if he listened to that Valentine's episode. Okay. Right. So... And then I would have had to have reminded him that I can never date him again, as he was fucking his roller derby chick while him and I were together.
Allegedly.
Okay, she, yes. She used to always leave him love notes on his refrigerator, so that I would see them. They would say cute little things like, love you, miss you. Okay, they were, and so here's the thing, he ended up picking her over me, and even wrote her a beautiful love song about how much he adores her. And the last line saying, it's about her being a roller derby chick. The last line of the song is, and I'm the only one that's allowed to call her fat. So, I mean, who am I to stand in the way of true love?
No.
Especially when we like to put out our episodes of, No,
that's all we want is for people to find their true love.
I have told every man that I have ever dated, this has always been my rule, is if you think that you can do better than me, then I want you to go get better than me. I mean, we have one life on this planet, on this beautiful planet. Don't waste your time.
Right.
Absolutely.
I would never want to stand in the way of true love. Yeah. Never.
Be all you can be.
So it's I'm happy for him and I wish him nothing but the best. I mean, I felt,
Yeah.
So, I don't understand why I'm being called mean.
Yeah. I mean, mean is telling me about 5 minutes before the show that you're not going to be there, but...
She was pursuing true love.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was doing exactly the advice that I give to other people. You got to go for it. You got to go for it.
All right, well... Just do what I did, just pursue it by trying to find guests for the podcast.
I know. I need to start doing that.
Yeah.
I need to. Yeah. I know.
So just reach out to Zelenskyy and no, he's married. Can't do that.
I know. And he's kind of busy right now.
Before we get into
dodging blows from the president.
Before we get into that,
and fighting a war in his own country. I mean, geez.
Yeah. Before we get into that, where'd you get the Make Prison Great Again hat?
Oh, on Amazon. Ugh. Can you believe they still sell this on there, though? I was kind of like, when I found it on there, I was like, you mean you still sell anti-Trump gear?
Well, it's a lot of third-party drop shipment stuff. So it's independent people like shipping stuff out.
But I was thinking that maybe they would have got banned, you know?
Money's money.
I know. And then I was like, well, Trump really wouldn't be able to fault him for that either if, you know, it's all about making money off of,
that's right.
You know, the idiots. Like
no,
us,
I mean,
you know, like the normies.
They do sell the I voted for the felon t-shirts.
Right? You would think that Trump would sell these too. He's like, well, fuck, if it's going to make money.
Yeah.
You know, like, why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know if we can do Trump impressions anymore.
Well, I can't. Not after we've heard the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're not going to talk
the GOAT. Yeah. The GOAT of Trump impersonators. I'm like, I can't even stack up to that.
Yeah. So, all right. And truth be told, what did your t-shirt say that you just got?
Okay, so I bought a t-shirt recently that says, I hope you get exactly what you voted for. And I mean, I think that shirt also sends a message to non-voters. I hope you get exactly what you voted for. You know? Like, I'm... And the reason... Remember when the election first happened? And this is going to kind of tie into what I already had said earlier on this show.
I kind of blocked that out.
And I was like, this reminds me of, because people like to, when people don't understand something, they try to relate things to things in their own life so that they can have an understanding of things. And I'm like, geez, this is like, I really didn't want to get back together with that narcissistic, abusive ex. I really didn't fucking want to, but this is what America wanted to do. And so now I've got to suffer through this.
Yeah. They don't fucking go away.
And I was kind of like, yeah, this reminds me of friends of mine that dated shitty men. I've been in that boat too. And it's like, they decide that the way to remedy the situation is by getting married. And I mean, at that point, what do you say to your friend? But I hope you get everything that he promised you. I really do. I mean, I hope you get the beautiful life and all that.
Right, because you're not going to change their mind.
Yeah, I hope you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish nothing but the best for you.
I mean, quite frankly, to be honest, we've done that to each other, you know,
right.
over the years. And we're like, all right, well, you're going to do what you're going to do.
Because you get tired of listening to giving your advice and someone not listening to you. And here's the thing. No matter what, the only person that can truly help you is you. So that's the only person that gets to really...
That's really the only reality redemption out there.
Yeah.
Is you have to figure out on your own.
The person that you see when you look in the mirror. That's the only person.
So you decided to wear this t-shirt to Wal Mart.
Yeah.
How'd that experience go?
Well, I figured I might as well entertain myself since I didn't get my shopping list in on time, my order in on time to order ahead. Because you know I do that. You know, that was
right.
like my favorite thing that happened out of pandemic. So I didn't have time to do that, but I needed some groceries, needed my vegetables to make my power smoothies in the morning and pick up some other things. So yeah, I was like, this is the perfect opportunity for me to wear this shirt because How can people even hate that shirt? Even if you did, I'm just telling you, I hope you get exactly what you voted for.
No, I mean,
Isn't that encouraging?
we're supposed to all get rich, right?
Right?
It's supposed to be the golden age again.
Right?
So, I mean, yeah, if that's what you voted for, yeah, I hope you get it.
You know, I got a lot of dirty looks. I didn't get anyone saying anything to me because they didn't have a keyboard in front of them. I mean, I suppose they
Well, they knew what the meaning was. Well, they knew what the... Did you go down the egg aisle wearing the shirt?
I bought eggs while I was there. I'm not even out of eggs at the moment, but I fucking bought a dozen of eggs.
Well, I mean, they're
while I was there.
going to go up another 40%.
What I was trying to do was...
You're being frugal.
Well, what I was trying to do was I was going to see if there was, like, at least a person over in the egg department that could have taken my picture holding a dozen. Because recently my uncle reached out to my mother to bitch about the price of eggs, and my mom was like, I'm sorry, but I have no more fucks to give. I can't even give a shit about this right now. And I'm like, Mom, what you should do, since you have chickens, a whole pen of them, you should just send dear old Uncle Denny pictures every day of all the eggs that the chickens have laid for you that you don't got to pay for, that you don't got to go buy in the store. That's what I would do. But I'm not nice. You know what? And the whole thing, like getting told that you're not nice, I'm like, you're fucking exactly right. I'm not ready to make nice. I'm like the chicks. I'm like that chick song. I'm not ready to make nice. I'm not. I'm fucking still irritated by all this. Because like I said again, I didn't want to get back together with the jerk off. Finally, for once in my life, I chose the right decision and didn't choose to get back together with this asshole.
Yeah, what's the line? I'm still mad as hell.
I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. Is that from Network?
It sure is.
That movie Network?
It sure is.
Yeah.
I'm super curious to know if you actually had a FaceTime date and wore that Make Prison Great Again hat.
No, so I didn't have any FaceTime dates this week. I tried to line some up, and then I was going to have one, but the guy was like, well, I'm meeting up with my friend in Vegas, so I'm not going to have any time. Maybe on the way back. And I'm like, all right. And then I'm really bad at reaching out. I figure, you know what, if you want to reach out, go ahead, and let me know. I'm not going to bother you while you're hanging out with your friends. So if I hear from you, then cool, we'll have one.
But if they do want to see the hat, they can go to our socials on Facebook or Instagram and see the hat.
Yeah. I hope they like the hat.
Yeah, no, it was a good picture.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know. Do you know how many pictures I had to take to get that right?
This whole photo shoot.
No, the whole lighting thing that we were talking about earlier. Yeah, they cast like shadows weird when you're trying, and I'm like, this, like, selfies suck. I don't even, if I look at myself in the mirror right now, I don't look like what the camera's showing. But but it's not having like all those shadows.
I know. I was working on trying to bring a video aspect to the podcast and stuff like that. I'm like, I didn't like the angle. I don't like my neck. I don't like the lighting.
Sounding like a total woman complaining about.
We'll turn on
now
the filters. We'll bring more lighting.
Yeah, we'll figure this out. That's why.
We'll get some hair and makeup on.
That's why Raw Ray will be the video director.
Yeah. Well, she's way better at that than we are.
Way better than most of the stuff.
Come on. We
way more informed.
Stuff like that.
So, while we're on this note, we did notice that we owe an apology to one particular listener. Because, I take track of the demographics of our audience and, where this listener. I noticed that there's a listener in Ukraine. Mm-hmm. And I want to reach out to them and apologize for the behavior that our president showed your president. That was horrible. It was awful. It made me feel like trash being an American watching that display.
Oh God. It was that was really hard to watch. Like it was, but I mean, there was a small part of me that it was like, whenever Donald Trump said, and I don't want to call you President Trump because you didn't fucking act like one that day. When he said, this will make for good TV, and I'm glad that this is being aired, and I'm like, I agree with you, because I'm glad that people are going to get to see how you behave. Like, the whole world is watching you. The whole world always watches America. And so I don't start crying, I'm just going to say that the best thing that came out of this was Saturday Night Live cold opening, because that was fucking what you looked like, you jerk off. You fucking jerk off. That's how you looked. Both of you, both you and the vice president, you look dumb as fuck.
Yeah, so before we get this any further, to our listener in the Ukraine, we apologize. We support your president. We thought he handled it brilliantly. And if you listen to on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to our podcast, there's that little thing, send us a text. We would love to talk to you at some point.
I wish you could come on our podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, we don't speak Ukrainian or Russian. Do they speak Ukrainian or Russian?
I don't know who's the expert.
Well, obviously, if they're listening to the podcast,
they do understand what we're saying.
Well, because all of Europe, I think they also get taught English in school. Unlike, they only teach us English. Oh, and by the way, that's going to become the official language of the United States. You heard that?
No,
one,
it is.
right?
Yeah, didn't he sign that? That's our official language.
We've never had an official language of this country,
right?
But now our official language will be English.
So does that mean we no longer have to offer forms in other languages for people or interpreters? They
said.
Probably not.
No, they said it'll be up to agency per agency whether that continues or not. But I'm sure they're going to do away with, if you're dialing a government agency, press 1 for English, 2 for Spanish or whatever.
Can you get, if you...
Right, and the Spanish language version of the White House webpage got taken down the first day.
Okay, so if people listen to our podcast, though, or anything for that matter, do they have filters out there where if you didn't speak the language, it could be translated?
I don't think so.
Okay, because sometimes when I am on Amazon and I read a lot of reviews before I buy stuff, and there's always reviews from other countries, and I'm like, I want to know what people from other countries think about this product too. But I always have to push the translation button so it translates it into English. So you can
you could live translate it if you really wanted to. You could use an app and you could live translate it.
Okay. But they already understand. You think that our Ukrainian listener already understands
but the translation apps don't really come out to be exactly what you're trying to say.
Yeah. So I wish we could. They've also got programs on the computer though where you can talk to people from different countries too. Right. And now that we have video capabilities.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there'd be subtitles.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're listening to us, we would love to have you on. I'm sorry for the behavior. That does not represent all of us.
I think everybody here is on the same page, but I watched it twice, and I'm trying to figure out where President Zelenskyy, at the very least, disrespected anyone in that room.
He didn't. It was like everything seemed to me like it was fine until J.D. Vance started stirring that pot. He was just like, he was the one with the bitches brew. Like up there, just like, I'm going to start some shit. Because Trump didn't start going off on him
Well,
either
Trump looked like he was asleep, to be fair, until Vance started yelling.
He was pulling a Biden? What?
No, you notice it.
Not.
No, he sits there with his legs. He man spreads, and he's got his hands folded in like the prayer, but between his legs.
And then
his head was down.
And then J.D. Vance started going off. So
he looked like Trump Lizard when Trump Lizard was snapping.
About this. Yeah. And then, like, it's like, you didn't even tell us, thank you. And he's like, and then you could like barely hear Zelensky's like, I did say thank you, and they're just yelling over him, like.
Yeah, and he's like,
what?
He's like, yeah, and I can't do the accent, but there's no reason to really raise your voice. We're not raising our voices.
It was like, I did say thank you there is no reason to raise your voice. Is that good?
Yeah, that's better than mine.
I like accents, so I try, but
to me, it looked like, especially when Zelenskyy left and he goes to get in his limo and he looks back and he looked like Liam Neeson, like when he's just about to murder somebody
for taking his daughter.
Yeah.
Like, God, it was just so embarrassing. I'm like, and then to bring up World War III, whenever Trump brought up World War III, my first thought was, and this kind of ties in with my shirt, I hope you get exactly what you voted for. I'm like, Trump's the one bringing up World War III. Project 2025 has the draft in it. They want to reinstate the draft. I'm like, I hope you guys wanted to sign your children over to Donald Trump to go to war. I mean, because that's what you're going to do. I mean, from the way he was talking, I'm like, you're talking about World War III. Can you have World War III without America in it? Do you think?
Well, no, but we're
with the way that we're acting right now?
We're not on the right side of history. Like, we're not looking. Canada is booing us at wrestling events and hockey. Canada.
Wait a second. They're into wrestling, too?
Yeah.
Like WWE style?
Yeah. Bret Hart, he was Canadian.
Oh. I don't know. I don't follow. I went to, like, one of those, like, when I was 10. My friend's dad got free tickets to it. That was back and it was WWF.
Right, and Andre the Giant was French. So, but I mean, the point being is, when you have Canada booing you, that maybe there's a problem.
Well, actually, if you think about it, Canada booing at a wrestling event, that's actually going to mean more, because that'd be full of like redneck Americans, right? So that's like, oh, here we're gonna really no more Mr. Nice Guy. Canada's like, we're done being nice to you.
Out comes Hulk Hogan. Wasn't your brother? You disrespected.
Ripping his shirt off.
Yeah. Ripping the flag shirt so he could get the Hulkamania shirt.
Right. Oh, jeez.
Fucking calls Bret Hart out of retirement. All right, look at this. I can fucking book WWE events now. Just embarrassing on every level. And I don't know. I mean, and Zelensky's point, which pissed Trump off, is Zelenskyy had said eventually it's going to come to your shore. What he meant is, hey, once you give them Ukraine, they're not going to stop there. They're going to go into Poland, they're going to take over Europe, and eventually they'll be here, and you'll be forced. What side are you going to be on? Are you going to be on Russia's side, or are you going to be on the whole world's side?
Right.
Which is what I think Zelenskyy meant.
That's what I thought he meant when he's sitting there saying, Putin is not going to stop at that. He's already said that he's not going to stop. He wants to take Russia back to when Russia was a huge powerhouse. And there's no way, okay, this is what I'm thinking too. Like, I've dated enough assholes that behave like that. I mean, I really don't want to use the term narcissist, but what else do you use? I mean, because I just feel like today's not the day for it. But like, they're not going to stop until they get what they want. He's not going to be told no.
Right.
He, he's got some idea in his head that it probably even pisses him off that the United States is pretty much the one that controls the world. And if he weakens us enough, he fucking take that shit over too. And be the dominator. Like, what? Like, well, I mean, maybe he's so mad.
In theory, though, isn't that what, during the 2016 election when Russia was interfering? Now, fucking, you can say Russia, but there was truth to that. Russia did try to interfere with our election with false information. That's a fact.
Well, they did. Yeah, they didn't try. They actually did.
And they did studies. The KGB did studies on how to divide the United States.
Right. They have got to, when it's the same theory as, I used to take this guy that liked to get into fights a lot, and he's like, when you go into a bar, he's like, I'm not fucking with the people that I know I could beat up. I've got to go in and fucking take out the biggest guy to show. It's the same prison theory. If you go to prison, if you want to look like a tough guy, you gotta go fucking have enough balls to go try to take out the big guy on the block. That's the theory.
Well, but this isn't even, what Russia's doing isn't even that. It's not going to punch the biggest guy in the face. It's to get all the big guy's little minions to turn on him, because like the division is happening from within. It's not Russia. Well, Russia's, I'm not saying Russia's the only problem that we have in the United States, but Russia is doing the dividing, like creating like the separating us between that media too, when that happens. But,
well, right, because they're doing like a smarter way of, to create division. Like they're doing everything very calculated. I feel like it's like calculated and well thought out. Okay. Now, my question is, because remember when we watched the documentary on Russia and World War II, it was Hitler and the Nazis or whatnot.
Yeah.
And they talk about all the time how Putin considers himself a Stalin type leader. Like he wants to bring Russia back to the Stalin days. My question is, and I would ask Putin this if I had the opportunity, since you are like obsessed with the Stalin days and getting Russian back to that, were you mad about, when we all got taught stuff about World War II, they taught us that, in school, they taught us that we basically went in there and destroyed the Nazi regime, that like America we went in and we saved the day. We finally saved the day. And then even when you learn later in life, you're like, okay, well, then you find out that we remained neutral for a while. But at the end, yes, we went in there and saved the day. But Hitler killed himself because he was worried about the Red Army. Okay, and they've never told us that. So he was more fearful of that. I'm like, would somebody like Putin, because he's such a madman and like egotistical, is he like all upset because he feels like maybe Russia didn't get the credit they deserved for getting rid of the Nazi regime, that it went to America instead.
That's a good question.
I mean, I don't know. It's just when I watch stuff about history and I'm like, wait a second, that was not what I was told. And then here's the truth. And it's like, if you lie about things and you just gloss over them like that, are you pissing other people off that were like, that's not really what happened?
Well, I mean, that's not what we were taught in school.
Right. And it's not
It's like
really...
America. There's America.
Right. They acted like that. But that's not why Hitler took the cyanide pill and fucking blew his brains out. It was because he was afraid of the Red Army coming in. He was more afraid of the Red Army, the Russians, than he was...
Right. I think the Russians were closer, though. I think they were closing in on where he was.
They most definitely were.
We were still a ways away.
That's what I'm saying.
So, I don't know. It's all history. So,
I mean, it's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. Don't get anything mistaken. It's a good thing that Hitler got taken down. Okay, even though it was by his own hands. I mean, it's a good thing that he felt the pressure and that happened. I want to make that clear.
Does it make you feel weird? I don't know if weird is the right word. I don't know. To me, it makes me feel like a little sad. Like when the hockey game was going on last week and I was rooting for Canada over the United States. And
well, I don't know that I would have done that.
And I was kind of like, with Zelenskyy, I was kind of like, yeah, fucking, he handled that good. Much better than I would have. And I was like, way to go, Zelenskyy, for standing up to a,
See, I had a different interpretation of those two things. The hockey thing, I would have still rooted for America just because, okay, do I think it's funny that they booed our anthem? Yes. I mean, do I think that it was deserved? Yes, because look at the way that our leader is behaving. I mean, you can't behave like that. Then... what's the second one we were talking about? Just had a brain fart. I'm like... Zelenskyy, okay. That, I was like, that was a moment where I was like... That's why I even said this is the one time that I'm like, I 100% agree with Trump on the fact that he's saying everyone is watching right now. I was like... I am so glad that everyone is watching because people need to see your behavior. Yeah. They really do. They need to see your behavior, that it's not right for you to act like this. I'm glad they're watching too. You have no right to do this.
And I think every leader around the world came out in support of Zelenskyy except for Russia and Hungary.
Yeah, Hungary was like, Donald Trump handled it like a champ. And of course, Putin was like, fuck yeah, because he's in the war with Ukraine.
Getting exactly what he wants.
So...
And I think that Trump just wanted Zelenskyy to sign the mineral deal, and then Trump would have probably fucked him over.
Yeah.
As he usually does.
And Zelenskyy probably knew that. I don't think Zelensky's a stupid person. Like, I think that's actually... I think he's probably the best leader that Ukraine could have right now and needs right now. Yeah. Honestly, I mean...
And what's up with the bullshit from the right that they said Zelenskyy was disrespecting meeting the president by not wearing a suit because he had his usual... sweater with the Ukrainian, symbol on it.
Well, they kept talking over him. Didn't he try to say that he was supporting his country and his troops?
Right.
It's like...
And he said, I'll go back to wearing the clown suit once the war is over. But, okay.
Did you like the part where he's like, I could get better suit than you. I could get cheaper suit than you.
But the point being here,
like that's where his comedian guy comes out.
The point being here is though, but you let Elon in with his tech support T-shirt and black MAGA hat on, and that's not disrespectful.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: the party of hypocrisy, right? That's what I call them lately. It's just because everything they say is just, I'm like, do as I say, not as I do, blah blah blah. Like that's their key fucking phrase and belief. So, like, why aren't they yelling at Elon for not wearing a suit? What if you're going to you had, like, you could literally yell at Elon for not wearing the suit. If you are in fact the president and he is not the president, I don't understand why you can't get him to wear a suit when he's fucking in this country. Like, you're trying to yell at somebody from a completely different country who came here to have negotiations with you.
Hey, little X sure dresses sharp though, right? The kid always shows up in like a little coat, and he got a little gold chain on, and
that's probably his mom though. That's probably Grimes making sure he's looking good. Like, if he's going into the White House, my kid's gonna look good.
No, I understand.
I'm not giving Elon credit for that.
I understand, because Obama would be in the Oval Office, right? And he'd be just wearing like the dress-up shirt, but he'd have his sleeves rolled up, working at the desk.
Right. With the jacket off.
Working, getting
with
ready to work.
Jacket off. But Trump, though, have you seen him with that golf shirt? He looks horrible.
Looks polo?
He looks like a bloated whale.
Yeah. And you notice, like, okay, when Trump's in his suit, doesn't that usually mean if you got your sleeves rolled up, you're ready to go to work?
Right.
That's why we have never seen him in a picture in his suit with those sleeves rolled up, because he is never working. It's either business suit, totally, like where I'm just here for the photo ops with my long dragon-ass tie, or I'm going to be in my polo shirt on the fucking golf course.
I have seen him with a bib so he doesn't drop the ketchup on his suit.
Shut up! They make him wear a bib?
You haven't seen the picture? No, I think it was he was eating Kentucky Fried Chicken and he had
a bib?
Yeah.
How embarrassing!
It's a plastic bib that they give you for the corn.
I thought that they gave you that when you ate lobster. That's the only time I've ever.
It was when you take the white napkin off and you fold it here and it comes down.
Well, yeah, I guess if you eat like a pig, that only proves that he eats like a fucking pig.
I don't know.
Then you would need that.
Fucking, maybe RFK Jr. can, help him with his diet. He's going to make us healthy again.
He's not going to like that RFK diet.
No.
He's going to have to get a real hankering for whale.
Yeah. The other big story tonight, the Gene Hackman story. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Is there any more development on it? I couldn't.
What was the latest? Now they think that he was dead for probably at least a week to 10 days.
Oh.
Because the bodies were partially mummified.
Like decomposed.
Yeah.
No, whatnot.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of sad for... Gene Hackman wasn't doing good for a long time. I saw pictures of him, and he didn't look great. But it was just kind of a sad way to go out.
So, what was it that... Was it...
I don't know. I don't know. Have they ruled out carbon monoxide?
I thought they had. I thought they had gone in and checked for carbon monoxide and said that they didn't find anything.
Yeah, because when I first saw the caption, I thought it was carbon monoxide. But then when I read the article, it said that there were pills all over the place. And I was like, oh, was it fucking suicide?
He was found in one room. She was found in the bathroom with pills spilled. And then there was a dog in like the closet off the bathroom, I believe.
That was crated, right?
Was it crated?
I believe so.
And the dog was dead too?
Yes,
Dog
and
was
then
dead, too.
another dog was alive.
Oh.
I think
But-
there was two other dogs.
His wife was also significantly younger than him.
Yeah,
it
like
wasn't like they
30
were
years.
both in.
Yeah, I mean, he was 95, and I think she was 61.
Yeah.
I mean, just a kind of sad story. I mean, Gene Hackman, great actor.
Oh gosh, I know. I remember the first movie I ever watched him in was Mississippi Burning. And that movie was like eye-opening for a 13-year-old. I mean, you're like, that kind of shit happened? Like,
First movie I saw him in was when he was in Superman. He played Lex Luthor.
Right.
oh, I guess I saw him in that too. Then I forgot that he was in Superman. No, that would have been the first thing I saw him in.
Yeah.
Then I really liked Hoosiers too.
Hoosiers was good. Yeah.
And who can forget when he was in the Birdcage?
Birdcage.
Just saying.
The Replacements.
Was he in the Replacements?
Yeah, he was
With
coach.
Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
Was he the coach?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
That's a good movie.
He's been in a lot of good movies.
Even though they hired Scabs. Okay, that was a good movie.
Yeah.
No, a good movie.
All right, so it's also Oscar night, and I have to admit, I had not seen any of the movies up until last night. But my choice was a complete unknown, just based off that. Didn't have to see any other movie.
Complete unknown.
Timothee Chalamett. Bob Dylan wasn't that hot though in the '60s, was he? Because you have to admit, Timothee Chalamet was kind of hot in that
They
movie.
always make the movie people who portray the actors are always better looking than the real people. That's Hollywood. It's what Hollywood does.
Huh.
Right?
And I had no idea about the whole Joan Baez thing.
I knew parts of that. I didn't know that their relationship went on for that long though. I didn't know that part. I mean, I knew that they had dated a little bit, but not where it was like that complicated where they were like fighting and shit on stage. I didn't know that
Yeah.
part. I mean,
Bob Dylan's always been like that, though. He's always been like, hey, I'm not going to play what you tell me to play. I'm going to play what I want to play.
yeah.
And I didn't know the whole Woody Guthrie thing either.
No, I had to look that up. I had to look up so, because in the movie, I was like, the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, did he have a stroke? Then, so I had to look up, looked up Woody Guthrie and scrolled down to his death or whatnot. The thing I found most interesting was that he rented an apartment in Fred Trump's building back in the day.
Really?
Yeah. And he wrote a song about Old Man Trump. And it talks about how he hates black people and did not want to rent to them, which
Is that the name of the song?
Awfully familiar though? No, those were lines in the song. I could look it up and read the lines.
What's the name? All right.
Like,
So what's the name of the song?
the name of the song is Old Man Trump.
That's really the name of the song?
Yes. Now, the song was never... There are no Guthrie recordings of the song. I guess it was one that he had just written, like, parts to.
They
and
were
never
shadow banning back then?
Put it out. Well, maybe he never really put it out, you know?
There's got to be a B-side collection.
Right. So, it says there are several handwritten drafts of the lyrics with titles such as Beach Haven Race Hate and Beach Haven Ain't My Home. In its lyrics, Guthrie expresses his dissatisfaction with Trump and the color line he had drawn in his Brooklyn neighborhood. So here are some of the lyrics. Would you like to hear them?
Yes.
I don't know how the song goes, so I'm just going to read them instead of trying to sing them, which I'm not a good singer anyways.
You can tell me and I'll do it as Bob Dylan.
Okay. Okay, it says, I suppose old man Trump knows just how much racial hate he stirred up in the blood pot of human hearts when he drawed that color line here at his Beach Haven family project. Then it goes on to say, Beach Haven is Trump's tower, where no black folks come to roam. No, no, old man Trump. Old Beach Haven ain't my home. And here's another set of lyrics. I welcome you here to live. I welcome you and your man both here to Beach Haven, to love in any ways you please, and to have some kind of decent place to get pregnant in, and to have your kids raised up in. I'm yelling out my own welcome to you. And that's it. They're just like little pieces of lyrics. There were 3 separate ones. I think maybe he just never formed the song at the end. I don't know. But, here's maybe a little bit of, here's a little bit of added information to that, though. It says, in the 1950s, the Federal Housing Administration, which funded some of Trump's housing projects, set guidelines for avoiding the integration of black people into white neighborhoods. In 1973, the U.S. Justice Department Civil Rights Division sued the Trump Organization, Fred Trump chair and Donald Trump president, for violating the Fair Housing Act. So.
All right, so we have a complete unknown going up against The Apprentice. Would you watch The Apprentice? Like, I sort of want to see it, but I also kind of like just so burnt out on Trump that I don't want to watch it.
Oh, I want to watch it, though, because I heard that... Didn't that guy get nominated for Best Actor,
Sebastian
too?
Stan.
Okay. I heard that it's not that...
It does
great
not
done. Like it's
it doesn't paint Trump in a good light.
Yeah, but even I think even the left have said that it's not like a really great movie either. Like no one's sitting there saying that it's like a really like it could have probably been done better. That's basically the gist that I get from it, but I do want to watch it just to see.
Right.
I hear there's a part in it when Trump first gets his hair plugs, and he got so mad about how they turned out that he beat the shit out of Ivana because he was married to Ivana at the time. I heard that's in the movie.
Yeah. Well, I hope Timothee Chalamett gets Best Actor, and I forget the actress's name, but just to see people lose it, I hope the actress Amelia Perez wins.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I need to see that movie too. I haven't watched that.
I don't know. So much to watch.
I know. I like to watch.
We haven't even finished Cobra Kai yet.
2 more episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all. Yeah. I quit.
I can't even say it. Sakai.
Takai.
There you go.
I watched the first season and maybe like 4 episodes. And
I watched every season to catch up with MJ. And I spent more time on Cobra Kai than I did taking like a four credit organic chemistry 2 class, including the lab. Like this was like a time commitment to do this.
But it was
so are you enjoying it?
It was totally worth it. It's so cheesy. I love it.
It is very
like
cheesy.
He's totally right. Like Johnny is the cool one in this.
Yeah.
the one that was a dick in the movie.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Like Ralph Macchio, he just kind of dials it in, you know?
Yeah.
I do love Ralph Macchio.
Although you do have to say,
don't you dare say
you
that.
do have to say Ralph Macchio is aging spectacularly. And
I know.
I went down the rabbit hole of, I was like, how old was Pat Morita during the first Karate Kid? And he was 53.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me depressed. So I started looking up his, film biography, filmography, however you say it. And I saw this thing, like he was in the show called Pryor's Place. And I'm like, in 1970, no, it was 1984.
84 or 85, right?
84, 85, it was a children's show done by Richard Pryor. And this is in the height of Brewster's Millions.
Yeah.
And when he's doing all those, and I'm like going, why? It was the most god-awful
and who
show
did the theme
ever.
Song on that?
Ray Parker Jr.
Yeah.
This was after this was to be 85 because this was after Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Now I got that theme in my head. I love the Ghostbusters song. I'm sorry. I don't care what anyone says.
But there was all these people at the height of their careers.
Yeah.
On this Pryor's Place show.
Yeah. And you had the little guy from Bad Santa.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
When he was a lot younger.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, because we were talking about that. Because I'm like, I didn't realize he had been around, that he would have been around
Yeah.
And Florence from the Jeffersons.
Florence from Jeffersons, wasn't it?
Moving on up to
Okay.
the east side.
So, I mean, we'll end our Hollywood on this. Speaking of age, how old do you think Red Fox was at the peak of Sanford and Son? No, you big dummy. Elizabeth, it's the big one.
You big dummy.
You think when he died? It was just like, "There's a big one," and fucking nobody believed him.
Hell, coming for you. I'm gonna
Throw a number out.
guess 47.
Holy shit! Ding, 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 ding.
Shut up.
Absolutely
What?
correct.
What?
Yes, he was 47.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess younger because there's always that saying black don't crack. Like black people age amazingly
Right.
well. Like amazingly.
I don't know. Red Fox must have partied his ass off.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Did you ever see Harlem Nights?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite, but my favorite part of that movie is with Red Fox and Della Reese, and she goes to the refrigerator and she's like, "You got my mouth all set up for some orange juice, and you leave me a fucking swallow." My favorite part.
Fuck. You know, the only thing that I can figure out, because Richard Pryor was on top when he was doing this. This is after he set himself on fire, and he was doing all these fucking movies. The only thing I can think of is CBS came to him because of Bill Cosby was doing like Fat Albert and stuff like that, and then started to get into the Cosby Show. Because at the end of the episode, Richard Pryor sits down and tries to give this serious speech. And it's god awful. I'm like,
stay in school, kids.
Yeah. I think Richard Pryor just did that just to fuck with CBS and take their money.
Maybe that's a good question.
I know.
I wonder if we can.
We need to get
We need to get a hold of his.
one of his children on
or his widow.
and be like, hey, why did he do that?
Right. Like.
Because it's the worst thing you'll ever see Richard Pryor do.
It's the lowest budget show I've ever seen on television. Right. Like, it makes Land of the Lost look like a high production.
And you know how,
do you think they made him do it? Like, they're like
it was community service? This. He got in trouble for something? What?
Right. Like, with the whole thing where he blew himself up.
Well, and it had like this. Do you remember the Croft puppets from the children's shows in the 70s and 80s? Sid and Marty Croft?
I don't think so. I remember the Muppets, but...
Yeah, these were like Muppets, but it had like all these breads talking in the most racist voices. The most stereotypical racist voices.
It was Puppet Bread.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't remember that.
All right. I'll have to send you the link if you want to ruin one of your nights.
Well, I want to know just so I know what we're talking about. I'm like,
We
okay.
didn't know what we were talking about because I think it must have been because Robert and I, we're pretty knowledgeable about Saturday morning TV.
We were surprised, like, how did we miss this?
Or did we just block it out? Like, did we watch it and our subconscious just said, no, you cannot remember this. It's that awful.
This is typical date-night viewing, Briar's Place.
Yeah. We do all the fun stuff. Tennessee, Texas.
You guys do.
Land of the Lost.
This is so
Cobra
cute.
Kai.
Am I hearing about all this? This should have been on the Valentine's episode. God damn it.
We stepped it up a notch last night and we watched an Oscar-worthy movie.
We did.
What did you watch? That Bob Dylan movie?
Unknown.
Oh, okay. And then you told me I needed to. Okay. Now it makes sense.
All right.
I watched it this morning because I was like, oh, if there is a Bob Dylan movie out there, Snow's going to be watching. I love Bob Dylan. I've always loved Bob Dylan.
That's my best impression is Bob Dylan.
Well, remember, I even got mad at that Counting Crows song because I'm like, Mr. Jones is a dumbass. I want to be Bob Dylan. I mean, what the fuck? He's not funky enough for you?
All right. Well, on that note, we'll wrap this one up. We've got some special episodes coming up in the near future that we're really excited about. Do you remember what I said after the election that we're going to take this podcast on a whole new level? We are really taking it on a whole new level.
I'm on that next level now.
Yeah.
So
All right.
everyone else is going to be so 2000 late. No.
Who is that?
I'm not going to rap anymore. I'm trying to be fergalicious. Like, okay.
Jesus Christ. Fuck, who died this week also? Roberta Flack. Yeah, Roberta Flack. This is just after we saw her on the fucking, the SNL.
Roberta Flack.
No, not Roberta Flack was on, but they did the song on SNL.
Killing them softly.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the original.
We did pretty good.
That's a good song.
We're gonna have to do the reality redemption karaoke. At some point.
I had an argument with my mother about that song, about Killing Me Softly.
What was the argument about?
She thought that song is about a performer that's so bad you can't listen to them because their voice is terrible. And I'm like,
no, it's the opposite.
No, Mom. It's about, I go, if you listen to the words, the person there watching that night has also just suffered heartache. And the person performing basically performs this song about how heartbroken they are. And the person's like, it's almost like they took a page from my diary. They're singing exactly how I feel right now. Like, that's what it's about.
Miss Lauryn Hill, to give proper credit to the performance.
Yeah. And she was in the Fugees, right?
Yeah.
It's because I think she sang, but is it actually a Fugees song that redid Roberta Flack?
No, it was on the Education of Miss
The
Lauryn Hill.
Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Okay. I thought it was the Fugees.
All right. Okay. So we've covered dating, Ukraine, Gene Hackman, and music. I think that's it for this week.
Pretty well rounded.
Okay. On that note, we will see you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.